Hello and welcome to this edition of Airtime with Lara and Regional Gateway. I'm Chloe Greenbank and today I'm joined by Paul Simmons, Executive Director of Blue Islands, a well-known figure on the European aviation circuit and beyond. Paul has worked with a number of airlines, including EasyJet, Flybe, Malaysia Airlines, Air Arabia, and the Cyprus-based startup Cobalt Air. Currently serving as the Executive Director for Channel Islands-based carrier Blue Islands, which was formerly a franchisee of Europe's largest regional carrier, Flybe. The airline sadly entered into administration in March of this year. However, Blue Islands is continuing to operate flights independently and in smart new corporate colours. I was lucky enough to join Paul on a flight earlier this month from Southampton to Exeter in the UK. Paul, you'll be basing an aircraft out of Southampton from the end of August, with flights planned to Manchester, Dublin, Guernsey and Jersey. What was the decision behind basing an aircraft out of Southampton, and how will it benefit the airport and surrounding region?
The airline's been flying to Southampton for over 15 years from the Channel Islands, so we kind of know the area very well. And clearly when Flybe left the market, there's a number of routes were left open. And we've kind of looked at what we'd best like to try and cover. And we decided to go to Manchester and Dublin in the first instance from Southampton, because we think they're unserved markets that we can do well in. And we're also going to connect via Manchester with Loganair. So we're kind of working in partnership. We're kind of reconnecting some of the lost routes that went when Flybe disappeared.
Okay. And you joined Blue Islands just over a year ago in May 2019. I think it's fair to say it's probably been a very challenging first year, if not also exciting. But what have been the highlights for you so far with Blue Islands?
Well, I think it's been huge fun. It's been a challenge, a big challenge if you think about it. We had is Flybe going to go bust or not for about 6 months in terms of trying to make contingency plans and what would we do. Then the worst did happen overnight, and we lost our distribution channels. We lost everything. We lost our forward order book. You just imagine everything just disappears when you come in the office one day, nothing's there. Mm-hmm. What do you do? So we carried on flying. For the first few days we actually flew without any revenue, just to honour the reservations we already had. We didn't actually know about the people reserved or not. They just showed up at the airport, and we took their word for it. We had no choice, and then we got an emergency reservation system, and now we've just got a fully functioning reservation system as of a couple of weeks ago. So it's taken a while to rebuild, but it's been a challenge, and it's been kind of everyone's focused, the whole team's pulled together, and it's a great effort to get the airline not only flying again, but flying again in really good shape.
Yeah. And the impact of coronavirus is nothing short of epic. It's devastating the industry. But the feeling that I'm guessing is that very much domestic and regional travel will be sort of, among the first areas to recover. Is that your feeling? And if so, why do you think that is?
Well, we certainly hope so. I think a lot of our travel is VFR. Obviously, a lot of what we do is over water, so the short distances, but there's not much other choice in terms of transport options. So I think those kind of routes where ground transportation is limited or difficult or non-existent will work quite well.
Yeah. And as an airline, what are you offering that is perhaps different to what you were offering previously? And how are you working with your airport partners to restore that passenger confidence that it is actually safe to fly?
In terms of the product, what we've done now, we've come out of being under Flybe, is to basically reinvent a modern take on a regional airline. So what people hope from regional airlines is that they're kind of more fun to fly with. It's less hassle. Obviously going from a local airport rather than big airports, and so we've deliberately taken away some of the things which kind of we know people don't like paying for baggage or inflexibility. If you're late, if you miss your flight, you get stung for a complete rebook, or But so we basically built into our package and our program quite a degree of flexibility for the traveller, and also and as we put it, no gotchas. So we're not trying to get people. We're going the other way. We're trying to be overtly helpful to people traveling, and that's in that way to kind of engender and gain loyalty. So that's kind of our approach, is to put a complete 180 on maybe our low cost approach. And then the second point, in terms of safety and wellness, we know there's a big job to be done there. We actually surveyed over 4,000 of our own customers, and what the wellness issue came up as the biggest barrier to travel. In fact, 85% of people said that they needed to be convinced that it was safe to travel. which is absolutely, you can understand that completely. So we have gone out of our way in terms of our own procedures on board, but also working with the airports to make sure that the whole experience is safe and as enjoyable as possible.
Yeah, okay. And you recently announced a partnership with Loganair, another UK regional carrier, which will obviously help widen your network across the UK. Do you think this current situation calls for greater collaboration and code sharing, not just between airlines, but also between airports and airlines?
Yeah, I think one of the takeouts for us, I think, is that you have to go out of your way to make it easy for the traveller. So that's kind of go back to basics and think about what the traveller needs and what the traveller wants, and make life as easy as possible for them, which is why we made our product changes, but also why we're doing the code share with Loganair, for example. So you're absolutely right that I think the industry needs to be completely traveller focused and kind of what's the best for them. So if that means cooperation and working with people and reaching out and maybe even working with people you used to regard as competitors, so be it. But we just need to get the wheels of the industry working again. But it has to be customer focused, traveller focused.
Yeah, okay. And I know obviously you're planning on basing an aircraft out of Southampton towards the end of August and possibly Exeter as well. So what are your what plans can you tell us about going forward for Blue Islands for the rest of the year and beyond?
We will be basing an aircraft in Southampton from September. We're planning to base an aircraft in Exeter from November. And gradually build from there. So, for a Channel Islands airline that's been solely based in the Channel Islands for 15 years, to take kind of baby steps onto the mainland is a big deal for us. So we know where the opportunity is. We think we know the opportunity is, but we're going to do it slowly and build into it rather than just appear with a huge fleet of aircraft that then do nothing.
Yeah. And how big is your fleet at the moment then, Paul?
We have 5 ATR aircraft at the moment. So the Southampton one will be the 6th.
Okay.
And then we're kind of looking to build slowly. So it's the plan, frankly, for Blue Islands is never to become huge. We have no ambition to replace Flybe's 70 or 80 aircraft as what they were. We're kind of really sticking to the Channel Islands and the south of England, and that's kind of our domain. And obviously maybe some flying into Europe, but that's about it. It's a limited ambition, but I think that's the best way to be at the moment.
Yeah, okay. And finally, if you hadn't pursued a career in aviation, where do you think you might have ended up?
Oh, I don't know. Before aviation, I was in hotels, so that was fun too. Hotel marketing.
To travel, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was aviation is certainly a lot faster than the hotel world. Sorry if any hotel people are watching, but it's just a fact. But there's certainly fringe benefits of hotels. So.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. All right, well, thank you very much for your time today, Paul, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
No, thanks, Claire.